So, one of the things that silver birch is really useful for is it has this papery type bark, and when you take this off the tree that's fairly fresh, you can use this to make containers with. And again, the Ötzi, the body that was the Neolithic body that was discovered in the Alps in the 90s, he had several containers made out of this bark. But the bark also has multiple other uses. So let's see if I can. It might not be very good because
it's wet.
It's very wet. But as I'm just scraping up the edge with my knife here, but I'm creating this very fine dust. It's probably not going to show up, but there's some fine dust formed in here, and that will take a spark quite easily. I can also use the inside of the bark to do the same thing. You can see it lightening up there. What you get in there is you're getting some fine dust. So you can use this, and you can also peel it into strips, and you can peel layers of the bark as well.
Not as well when it's wet.
Not as well when it's really, really wet like this. But this, as they peel up, they will also help to make a fire. So when I was teaching my sons bushcraft and survival as they were growing up, we actually used to call this the fire tree because it has multiple uses for fire. You can also take that bark and you can roll it up really, really tightly and put it in some kind of metal container, like a tin, and seal the container and punch a hole in the bottom. Then you dig a pit and you put another empty container in the pit with the birch filled container on top of it, so that they're sealed together, and then you build a fire over it and you just let it burn away. Then when the fire's cleared, what will have happened is you will have melted out of the birch bark birch tar, really sticky, thick black fluid, and that used to be known as black gold. It was used for all sorts of things. It had medicinal uses, it had fuel uses. It's not particularly commonly used these days. You could make glues with it and all sorts of things. So it's a tree that has an incredible number of uses. And although I'm describing doing that with, say, a metal tin or anything, there is evidence of people doing that with, quite literally, just using stone containers in sort of prehistoric times. So an absolutely essential tree to our development in northern climates.